Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. And as we promised you, dear viewers, we'll be talking in the first segment here of the breakfast show about the new education programs and their connection to industry. We're mainly talking, of course, about new education programs in higher education and specifically in the field of engineering and their connection to industry, their connection to the job market. And to shed more light on the topic, we have the pleasure to be joined in the studio by Dr. Mohamed Basil Emara, the Vice Dean of the Faculty of Engineering in Matariya for Community Service and Environmental Development Affairs, Helwan University. Thank you very much, Dr. Emara, for joining us. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me with you today on the program.
Thank you, Dr. Emara. So tell us about those new education programs. What is exactly meant by those new education programs and what do they offer?
Okay, in addition to the mainstream departments that we have in our faculties, we have the new program system, which is a credit hour system program that usually deals with the requirements of the job and the job market now and in the future. So they are more oriented to the market needs. They can be in practical faculties like engineering, and they can be also in other faculties like, for example, law and financing and so forth. They are also characterized by, of course, the credit hour system, as well as the new fields that are required by the nature of the market currently and in the future.
So can you give us examples of?
Yes, let's talk, for example, about our programs in our faculty. We have 5 new undergraduate programs and 1 new postgraduate program. The fields are, or the programs are, structural engineering program, construction engineering and sustainable construction, project management and sustainable construction. We have also in architecture, and we have also 2 in mechanical. One of them is energy engineering and the other is automotive mechatronics. So these programs provide a new field in these disciplines, new fields in these disciplines.
That fit the job market.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, for example, if we talk about project management and sustainable development, we can see the huge development that's underway in Egypt right now in construction, for example, because the development is in all fields. Like, for example, in construction, in communication, in transportation, and so forth.
Yeah, so we're seeing the mega projects, the mega infrastructure projects.
Yes.
Yes.
So if we talk about construction itself, like buildings and so forth, and also other projects like roads, construction of roads and highways and so forth.
The new cities.
Yes. Yeah. They need to be designed according to today's course of practice and to the requirements and aspirations of people today. However, for example, if we are looking for the long-term sustainability of these projects, then we have to apply what's termed sustainable development. That is, we have to leave some leeway for the future generations to be able to further develop these programs according to tomorrow's codes of practice, needs, requirements, and of course the aspirations of the people and the society. So this is an example for sustainable construction and development. We can also say the same about energy engineering, for example.
It's trending.
I'm sorry?
It's trending.
Yes, definitely. If we are talking about energy engineering, for example, now we can see the general trend in the whole world to move towards renewable and clean energy. And we have a program at our faculty, the energy engineering program, for example, and it deals with these new fields, like how to generate energy from wind, from water, hydroelectric energy, how to develop it from solar energy, and so forth. The program also deals with traditional energy sources like fossil fuels and, of course, thermal systems, but it also deals with desalination plants, which is also very important nowadays, not just in Egypt, but in everywhere. It does deal with the requirements of the market today and the future.
Yeah, and we are seeing great care by the government regarding especially the desalination projects.
Yes. If we're talking,
there is a need for that. Yeah,
definitely. We have over 2,000 kilometers of coastline, and we have a large supply of seawater. So why not use desalination plants to provide fresh water, at least for the cities along the coastline? That would be great, so that I can use the other sources of water in irrigation, in the delta area and so forth, and in the reclamation of the new project. So they work together, not in isolated areas, but they work together, both the natural sources of fresh water and the desalination plants.
Dr. Emara, for years we've been hearing about the need, the necessity for renewable energy, for energy, as you said, produced from the sun or solar energy and wind, and from the wind. How far have we here in Egypt progressed in that important path?
Okay, let's talk in the general context of the idea, because of course I'm a civil engineer more than so I'm related more to civil engineering construction, yes, and civil engineering projects. But we can see, if you look at the new projects that are underway, we have huge solar energy projects in Egypt, which is a very clean source of energy. We also have
cheap as well. I mean, compared to the other.
Is going as we go on, it is going to get cheaper, less expensive. Yes, of course, yes. Now it's much less expensive than it used to be 10 years ago, for example. We also have the hydroelectric projects, like, for example, the High Dam, and also some of the regulators. We also have, we also generate energy from wind. I think in the area of the Red Sea, we can see the windmills and the turbines, the air turbines generating electricity. So it's going forward, and also there is another source of renewable energy, which is generating energy from sea waves. As I said, we have over 2,000 kilometers of coastline, so we can also use that or invest in this field.
But back to the new programs, new educational programs, you mentioned that one of them is related to the automotive industry and the mechatronics. Also, I mean, the term mechatronics and mechatronics studies, it seems to be trending also nowadays. So please talk to us about
again, this is it is in mechanical engineering, but I'm just going to speak about the general context of the idea. It's engineering mechatronics, which is a combination of mechanical and electrical engineering, but in the field of vehicles and automobiles. In our faculty, we have one of the top departments in vehicle and engineering, automotive engineering. And it's one of the first, if not the first, program in Egypt. Through this program, we were able to get a new program certified, which is the automotive mechatronics. And it also deals, of course, from the name, with cars and vehicles and buses and the industry. As you can see in Egypt now, we have the automotive industry, it's booming. We are starting to notice that we will start producing, or have started already producing, electric cars. So we have many factories working, and many companies, European companies, for example, and from the Far East. So it does deal with the market needs. The program deals with the market needs in this field, and provides finally, and will provide finally, a graduate who can work, who can design, and who can service such new cars and fields in the automotive industry field, of course.
You know, I believe the automotive industry has always been working well in Egypt, even in tough times, even in tough economic times. That specific industry has shown a lot of resilience, and the market is huge and big. Now, you mentioned, Dr. Emara, that there is a postgraduate program that you have in your university. Can you talk to us about
In
that?
our faculty,
Yeah.
we do have a postgraduate program. It's in architecture engineering. It's called green architecture, and it does actually fit into the new requirements, the future requirements of the market, because of the energy consumption. We need to cut down on it. So green architecture does deal with this part. This is just one of the fields that it deals with. And it does provide a Master of Science degree in this field. And this is really a promising program. So it is, we do look very positively to this program.
Yeah. And you mentioned that it's credit hours, so you're a governmental university, right?
Of course. Yes.
Yeah. So credit hours means that students will pay.
Yes.
So how is the rate going? I mean, how is the demand for these new programs? How does it look like at the moment?
There is a demand, of course. We are privileged that our fees are relatively low. So this does give us a privilege in this area, in addition to the high quality education that we provide. We have a very professional staff. Many of them have been educated abroad and here, and so they use the accumulated experience in teaching here and in Egypt and abroad in providing high quality education to the students.
And some of your staff probably teaches in other private universities which are much costlier than in yours, isn't that the case?
But not, we're talking...
I mean, your staff is other top university, I mean, I retract the word top, costlier or costlier universities will probably recruit some of your staff to teach over there. Isn't that the case?
Well, of course, if we're talking about new universities, private universities, they will need staff. So there are two ways mainly, either to start recruiting or to get the help of other
as part-time
big universities, yes,
yeah.
On part-time basis, of course,
Yeah.
and within the context of the law and the regulations, of course.
Sure.
Yes.
No, what I meant is that because you're a governmental institution, your fees are much less than other universities, but probably your staff is probably equal to the staff.
We have a very,
or maybe better than the staff in costlier universities. That's what I meant by posing this question.
We have an excellent staff, as do all the other public universities. Of course, they are experienced. They are very highly educated, either here or abroad, and definitely in engineering and in other disciplines as well. We can see the quality of our staff. It is also our job, if not, I mean, in the social context, to provide our experience to new universities and new faculties that are starting on part-time basis, as you said, of course, and within the context of the law and the regulations. And it would be our privilege that our staff would transfer their experience to other universities.
Now here's a question, Dr. Emara, I would like to get your input on that. Maybe in my generation, it was tough to become an engineering student because you had to, there were no private universities, there was only the governmental universities, maybe one or two private universities, so you had to get very high grades in, in high school, or, and there was a sense that the market would grasp all of us. Now there are many universities that are giving engineering programs. be it governmental or private or international, and so on. So we're going to have, you know, a big, huge number of engineers, future engineers. Now, my question is, will the job market be able to grasp all of this, or do we need more other people to go into, you know, technical education and to be technicians maybe, and not necessarily engineers? This is my question.
Both. We need both.
Good.
There are some fields that are always needed in the market, and engineering is definitely one of these fields. If we look at the development again that's underway in our country over the past 7 years, it's huge. It's in every field you can imagine. For example, in engineering, we can talk about construction, road construction, infrastructure, electricity, irrigation, and so forth.
Yeah.
So all of these projects do need engineers, that's for sure. And this is going to continue for quite some time. The other part, technical education, is also a must. We have to have strong technical education, because technical education works together hand in hand with engineering. So we have to have both.
Good. Now, what about technology-based new programs? I guess there is a need for that. You know, we're talking about you know, a digital economy, digitalizing everything. Everything is now technology-based. So, what about technology as far as the new educational programs are
Well, we
concerned?
just talked about one of the programs, which is automotive mechatronics. This is one of them. This deals with the new industries, the car industries that are mostly automated. So this is one of them. However, if we also look around us in the general context of the human life in Egypt right now, we are in the process of digitally transforming the society. So digital transformation has touched every single aspect and field in our life. From starting to get your ID and passport issued to everything else that you can imagine. Banking, for example, yes, exactly. Online banking.
Even shopping during the
Absolutely, shopping by on the internet, shopping on the telephone,
even the education itself. I mean,
that's what I was going to talk about.
The Corona
right
challenge.
Exactly. During the Corona pandemic, we faced a huge problem as to how to educate our students remotely. So we use blended or hybrid teaching or learning. And we had to improvise our education techniques by introducing the internet education, or education through the internet. So this is some sort of digital transformation. Our meetings, now we can, we mostly do our meetings
Zoom
online. And the most important thing is how to positively use technology. I can, for example, set a meeting in a few minutes and inform everybody within a few seconds anywhere in the globe.
Right.
So digital transformation is of utmost importance, and it has to be integrated in the society. And it's going to take a little while, but we'll reach that. We'll reach the target, inshallah.
Inshallah. So how did you like the adaptation? How did you see the adaptation that your teaching staff had to do, and your students also had to do? And a second question, so first question is about the adaptation. Second question is, has the Corona challenge affected specifically engineering or medicine students more than others because of the nature of the academic content?
The practical part of it.
Yeah, and how do we make up? How do we make up for that?
Yes, sure. First of all, there had to be a transition period. We had one term, which was the second term of the year before last, and this was the transition term. We were experimenting a little bit, but eventually we reached our target. That is, we could provide the good quality education that we are used to, but through the internet. So this was fine. To the second part of the question,
Yeah, how do we make up for any potential losses that happen? I mean, there is a fear that, you know, those the students, especially those who were in their first year of university, first year of engineering, and it was mostly online. So if there was a loss, how do we make up for it?
Actually, if we talk about the practical part of the teaching process, we we used to teach the practical part in the faculty.
Okay.
With regards to the
Applying all the safety measures, all the health.
absolutely all
measures.
precaution measures were applied.
Yeah.
But we are thinking now regarding the laboratory part that we introduce what is termed the virtual labs, virtual laboratories. So we can provide this practical education to the students through virtual reality. With regards to the training,
Yeah.
the undergraduate training, it is being done actually as it used to be. So we have our undergraduate training underway in the summer, during the summer, and it is a requirement, of course. Undergraduate training is also very important because it provides the students, the undergraduate students, with a touch of how the job has to be done after graduation.
Yeah.
For example, if I'm talking about civil engineers,
Yeah.
it is a must that civil engineer must combine both theory and practice.
Yeah.
They should know how to design and they should know how to work in the on-site in the field. So this is a very important part. Also, we can talk about computer training online. We also do that, and this is also a very important part of how to train the students on the practical part of the education.
Dr. Emara, it's been very informative. Thank you very much, and good luck and successful academic year, inshallah. On behalf of you, dear viewers, we thank you very much Dr. Mohamed Basil Emara, the Vice Dean of the Faculty of Engineering in Matariyah for Community Service and Environmental Development Affairs, Helwan University. Thank you very much, and a very good morning to you, Dr. Emara.
Thank you so much, and a very good morning to you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear viewers, please stay with us. Karim Gamaluddin will be back to resume this morning's edition of The Breakfast Show. Don't go away.